Beautiful ABA ladies, and welcome to Module 6 of Aligned Business Accelerator. So I am just going to pop it into full screen mode here. And we will get started. Now, I have actually decided to swap some of the modules around. So everything has gone according to plan module-wise. But the next module that I was planning on having for you today, this week, was around automation. And on reflection, that is too quick. We need to learn a few steps before that. So we are going into Serene Sales Flow because I actually see a lot of you requesting this. And this is the first time I've offered this program, which is, you've got all of that lovely introductory offer in terms of your investment, and it's all about making changes according to what your clients want and need so that you can refine a really great offering. So this is it in motion. We are swapping it around to give you ladies what you need right now, which is all around Serene Sales Flow. So, and this builds beautifully from what we were discussing last week, which was around branding and messaging. So let's get right into it. So the key topics today is to check in on how you feel about sales. So let's reframe it, because I know that some of us may feel freaked out about sales and may have some fear about it, might feel icky, and without knowing it, or sometimes we do know it, we sabotage not getting ourselves out there in front of prospective clients because we don't want to feel that way. So let's reframe it to have it to be super powerful rather than scary. And yes, there is a sales formula to follow, and I'll be giving that to you, of course. And I'll also teach you how to make it powerfully yours so you can sell with ease and confidence. So there's a lot to be said for following a formula, but I want to invite you into bringing that formula into your very own way of being and doing so it feels right for you. And like anything, we just need practice to get there and some guidance. So I'm here to provide the guidance, and I need you to do the practice. So we'll also learn how to overcome any objections so that you can dramatically increase your client booking success rate. Then we'll confidently talk about your powerful packages and see the true value in your offering, that is for your clients, so that you feel aligned with what you're selling and you truly believe in the power of your offering. And there's tools and skills to increase conversions from prospect to customer so your business is absolutely thriving, because that is what we want for our businesses. And I'll be there to support you along the way because I know it can be scary. So again, that's what the Facebook group's there for. I want you to share experiences, talk about them on the group coaching on calls, because we're all here to help and support each other. All right, so coming back to the slide that I keep tapping into, because it is the most powerful way to frame everything up of what we've done. And it helps you see how everything's connected. So you know how we spoke first about the genius zone, what your strengths and your absolute area of genius is, and then figuring out your ideal client and the transformation that you help provide, which, as we know, helped us create a unique, powerful, profitable offering. And then we were able to create our marketing messages around these areas. And then obviously this is what we're selling. So when we're selling, we're keeping in mind this beautiful person here, our ideal client, how we can best support them with what our genius zone is, and the process of how we help them, which is the transformation through your package or program or service. So this is tying it all in together for your sales calls and meetings. Now, just before we go into it, a lot of people used to think that sales, this is kind of sales old school, right? Sales old school, and you've probably been sold by somebody, you've probably bought something where someone sold this to you, or they've tried to sell you and you said, thank you, no. And it's all about that kind of sleazy sales approach, which is the salesperson, the person offering the product or service, is all about how great they are, how great the product is, all about the product or service, and not bringing you, the prospective customer, into the equation at all. That is the old way of selling. So, for example, you think of a car. A car's a really classic example. You know, everyone can sort of think of, that the car salesman or car salesperson, where you go into the car yard and the salesperson greets you and talks all about the car, all about the features of the car, all about potentially the benefits of the car, and makes it all about the actual object that they're selling. However, the new sales way, which is the best way, is all about bringing the customer to the front of mind, the prospective client front of mind, knowing what their pain points and challenges are, which is why we actually do so much work to understand the ideal client, know what kind of desired reality that they're after, which is the transformation that they want help with providing, and knowing how what you offer, i.e. what they're buying, helps meet that as the solution. And then obviously framing yourself as the credible key person to provide that service using your genius zone and story. So you can see how all of that brings together to create a really lovely, powerful and new ethical way of selling, which actually is a really nice process to take people through. And it helps us to align better with what we're offering, because we all want to actually help more people to create a positive impact, and we want our genius zone to create that powerful platform to help people and make some great money along the way, because there ain't nothing wrong with making money when it's all around helping to create positive impact. Because you think about it, the more positive impact that you can create means that you're selling more programs or packages, which means more money, which is wonderful, because the dollar value in your bank account each year reflects how much you've impacted people, because you've worked with more people, offered more things. So think of it like that, which takes me beautifully to my acronym Selling is Serving, which is, obviously you can see the sales there. S is for serving people. That's what we were talking before. It's not about selling people, it's about serving people. A is for asking key questions. L is listening actively. E, engaging the client, and S, supporting the decision. So going back to serving people, if you're providing a solution, which is your package, powerful package of services, if you're providing that as a solution for your ideal client's problems, then that is serving people, that is helping people. So that's that S element. If you created a package which only served you, then no one's going to buy it and it's not going to be really effective. So that's a really powerful way to make a shift around the fact that selling is actually serving. And A, asking questions. My goodness, this is the most powerful way to sell. Asking key questions is incredibly powerful. How it's super duper powerful is that when you ask questions, you then switch into active listening. So that listening active mode. And we all know what that is, right? So you've had people ask you questions and they're not actively listening. They're thinking about something else in their mind, what they're going to cook for dinner tonight, trying to anticipate what you might be saying next, whatever it is. Their mind is not actually actively listening. It's already thinking about something in the future or something in the past. And you can tell, because we are all switched on, you can tell when people aren't actively listening to you. And it's quite disconcerting when you're having a conversation with someone and someone's not actively listening to you. So when you provide powerful, provocative, helpful questions and then follow up with listening actively, that's where the real beauty happens. And then E is about engaging the client. We want to help engage a client to go from switching their mind to, well, hang on, what's this all about? Are they trying to sell me? To switching into a mode of being in flow with you, engaging in a conversation with you and letting down their guard because they feel safe with you. That's effectively what you want to create with people. You want to create this energy of safety where they go, okay, great, this woman is here to help me, and you can provide that in your call. And then S is for supporting the decision, because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to work with you. There are some objections that just are what they are. They may not have the money. They may not be ready. And sometimes we can overcome these objections, and we'll talk about them a little later on today. But sometimes they're just not right for you and you're not right for them. So we need to accept that decision. But we also need to know that is the objection they're coming up with, is it because it's real and it just is a decision they can't make based on what I just said before? Or is it an objection they're throwing up because they actually feel fearful because they don't trust that they can do the work, or they feel like they haven't built up enough know, like, trust factor with you. So it's about tapping into that. Because at the end of the day, you have incredible skills and strengths, which is your genius zone, that help people or businesses to create positive and powerful transformations. That's the truth. So start recognizing that, and you'll actually want to help more people, i.e. offer and sell your packages. This is the big shift to make. All right, so before we actually get on a sales call with people, we need to invite them into the call. So creating a powerful name to provide your call. So no one's going to jump on a sales call. That just doesn't sound right. So you actually want to give your free call, and you want to always make these calls free, particularly in the early days. A free call, which is potentially your business builder call, or your career clarity call, or your discovery call, whatever it is that suits your business. I often call mine a business builder call because I'm helping people build their businesses. But one of my clients, she's a career coach, so she talks about a career clarity call, or a lot of people call them discovery calls. Whatever it is, that it is a 1 hour session, or sometimes 30 minutes to 1 hour session, to take people through a process, which is what I'm going to share with you today, which helps us uncover where they're at, where they want to go, and whether or not you and them are a really good, powerful fit together. So I want you to use this offer, which is your free call, in your marketing messages as a key call to action. Remember, in the last module we talked about a CTA, which is a call to action. And I want you to use it at the bottom of your links to invite people to have those calls with you. And obviously you want to mention that you've got limited availability for these calls, and that first in, best dressed, right? Because you can't have unlimited calls. You're not available for that. But it's about defining how many calls to have with people. To do that, you want to get into Calendly. There's a link on the screen, www.calendly.com, and it's spelled calendly.com, and share this link with them. So create a Calendly account. They're free. There is a pro paid version, but the free option is absolutely doable. And you want to get in there, create your account, and then put in your availability for these calls. Don't make the availability, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, anytime they want, because it just looks too available. Create maybe 5 sessions per week, scattered across the week, according to what suits you, and then people can book in for those calls. All right, and then moving on to preparing for a call or a meeting. So it's all about mindset and energy. That's what you want to know. Before you go into a call or a meeting, you want to know that it's all about your mindset and energy. So we've talked about this in the mindset module all the way back at the start of this program, where we use our internal talk, that how we speak to ourselves in our mind is so incredibly powerful. So we don't want to get onto a call in our mind going, oh, people aren't going to want this, it's too expensive. We don't want to use that negative thought pattern. We want to create a much more powerful way to speak to ourselves, to create a stronger mindset and a much better energy, because when you go into a call with that, it's so powerful. So I want you to create awareness around how you speak to yourself in your mind around calls. And if you notice language of, oh, people aren't going to want to listen to me, or I don't know what I'll say, or anything that's negative, really start to shift the language around. You will know what to talk about because we're going to go through a script, which is great. And yeah, I'll tell you how you can tap into that energy in a moment. First of all, step one, remove your expectations and anticipations. So I call this emptying the cup, the empty cup, right? So you think about it, there's actually a really beautiful story about, it's like a spiritual wisdom story about a Japanese spiritual man going to meet with one of his students, if you like. Now, the Japanese spiritual man sat down and started to think about, what he was going to connect with his student about. And the student came in and sat down with him. And they noticed in front of them they had some beautiful, like Japanese style tea cups and, a sort of a tea setting, if you like. And the Japanese teacher used the cup as the story. So you can kind of envision this setting. That when you come into a situation, whether or not it's, these two men having a spiritual discussion, or in your case, you and your client going into a meeting, the person who is holding the meeting, i.e. you, the service provider, doesn't want to go in with a full cup. Because if you imagine that teacup being filled up, with tea almost to the top, then if you go in with a full cup, how can you actually have any space left for what's provided in that session? Now, I know that sounds like a bit of a funny analogy, but if you go in with your mind full of expectations and anticipation, so for example, if you go in with thinking, this is what they're going to want, this is what they'll expect of me, I bet you that they'll anticipate that the price is less than it is, I actually think that they're going to want this. We need to remove those expectations and anticipations and empty our cup. Because when you ask these really powerful questions, which I'll share in the script in a moment, that's actually how you'll fill your cup. They'll provide to you all of the information that you need to help on the sales call. All of the information. So going in there with an empty cup, that's number one. Step two is for you to visualize your successful outcome and step into that energy space. So this is a bit woo-woo, and I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff, but it works. And so visualizing your successful outcome. So before you go into the call, just sit quietly for a moment at your desk or wherever is comfortable. Close your eyes for a few minutes and actually visualize what you want to achieve on that call. And you want to visualize that you're feeling in a powerful present space, that you're having a beautiful connection with a client on that call, that you're building lovely rapport and it feels good and the right things are being said and the person is really connecting, engaging with you, and it results in a way forward to have them as your client. So that's a successful outcome that you want to envision, and you want to create that feeling of what that energy feels like. Step three is to tap into your why and build upon your energy to create that high vibe. So step into your why. Remember why you actually started your business. You've created and started this business for a really deep personal reason, and you want to tap into your why and build upon that energy so that you step into this really lovely high vibe for the call. Now take some deep, powerful breaths and smile. People can feel when you're on a call if you're in a light-hearted space, where you feel present and that you're smiling and you're, feeling good, right? People can tap into the energy, whether they're on the call or meeting with you face to face. It's a real energetic thing. Think back to a time where you've had either a sales call or a sales meeting or any kind of sales situation, and the person's like, low vibe or not smiling. You just think, oh my gosh, get me out of here. So create the kind of energy that you really like on these kind of calls. And then step 4, have your script at the ready and practice before you speak. Okay, let's get into the script. Now, there is a number of steps to take. And before we go into this, I want you to remember that any new skill feels a little awkward until it becomes a practice skill. So think about when you learnt to drive, or when you started a new job, or whatever it is, and you were learning a new skill that you've never done before. It felt awkward, it was a bit uncomfortable. You had to persist with taking regular action to get better at whatever it is that you were doing. And then before you knew it, you became great at it. And this is like anything. So you've done that process many times before, so you can do this with sales as well. So a number of steps, we're going to go through them. I'm going to provide some examples along the way, and this script will all be shared with you. I did share it in the Facebook group too, but it'll all be shared with you. All right, first step is to have that short greeting, but you want to get right into the purpose of the call. So, for example, hi, how are you going? Great to have you on the call today. I've received your responses to the questionnaire and I've had a look on your website, so I have a little bit of information about you and your business already, which is great. The purpose of today's session is for me to really get to understand you and your business goals and lifestyle desires, and what it is you really want to create this year, and for me to advise you on how you can get there. So I'll get you to share more about your business and goals and what you're currently struggling with the most. And then at the end of the session, if it feels good to you, we can also look at a way that I can support you in achieving your goals. Does that sound good to you? And then you get them obviously to answer yes. So that's the introduction right there. Now, obviously you make changes here according to what suits you. So this is what I use for business, but you can change it to if you're helping people with their career, if you're helping people plan their weddings, around their health and well-being, around marketing for their business. Whatever it is, you make changes, and just you can use this flow and script, but just obviously edit it where it's appropriate. And then you want to go into, how long have you been following me? If they have, like if they know about you. If it's pretty new, you want to say something like, so if they don't really know you that well, then you want to say, well, before we jump into diving into your business, let me just introduce myself briefly so that you can learn, so that you can know who you're learning from. Obviously, this is in brackets, this is a good way when they are really new to you. Then explain what you do and who you work with and what you help them achieve. And so this conditions in their trust in you as their expert when there's an ideal client on the call. So it's a brief couple of sentences. And I actually tell this in a bit of a story. So you want to make it short, sharp and sweet. But mine goes along the lines of, I'm a business growth specialist and strategist, and I've been working with women to help start and grow their coaching, consulting, and practitioner-based businesses for some time now. I really, really love it. And how I've got to where I've got is, after I did my business degree, I went into corporate, and I had a corporate roles in various management roles to help other businesses grow and succeed. And then I took the jump into entrepreneurship about 5 years ago and created a business where we helped national brands sell and market their services and packages. That worked really well, but one day I actually just decided that I wasn't living my version of success at all. So I scaled down the business, took some time to reflect on what success meant to me. trained up in things that would help me on my next part of my journey, did some freelance work, and then created my own coaching and consulting business. And in the meantime, back when I was starting my first business, I actually got asked to speak at Macleay, not to speak rather, lecture at Macleay in business and entrepreneurship. So now I lecture and work with wonderful women to help grow and build their businesses. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, but enough about me. Let's get into learning more about you. So that's kind of how I tell my story. Rather than just say, one or two things, create a short story around it, which is really powerful. Then I literally get them to introduce their business to me and get clarity on their biggest goals for the year. So you want to get clear on what they want. And so I'll say to them something along the lines of, so tell me, what is it that your business does, or what do you want it to do? Tell me a little bit more about your business. It'd be great to hear. And then also, what are some of your biggest goals for this year? Again, if it's a personal thing, if you're selling a service that's for individuals and more about their life or well-being, then you talk about, introduce to me, tell me a bit about yourself and what you want to achieve this year for your health goals or whatever it is. And then you go, and just when you ask the question, remember that active listening. So ask the question and truly listen. Create space. Don't be afraid of the pause. I'm a big fan of the pause, because if you just talk like a freight train and you don't create these pauses, then people won't want to open up. They just kind of feel guarded. So when you ask a question, pause, listen, let them talk. And then it's about, as I mentioned before, getting clear on what they want, their desires, the outcomes that they're looking for. So tell me what it is that you want your business to create in 6 or 12 months. What is your big vision for your business? How do you want to live your life? Get them to open up. I can guarantee you they haven't had the time or inclination to express this to probably anyone for some time. So the fact that someone's asking them, one, they really love it. Two, it's a really lovely way to create engagement. And three, you get to really understand them on a deeper level, which means that when it comes time to offer your solution, your service, then it becomes a really powerful way to, to offer your product, which is the key solution. So then it's talking about, how can I help you? What is your key struggle? What are your business goals? Clearly identify the gap between their current situation, as in current reality, and where they'd like to be, which is their desired reality. Then you want to talk about why now. So discover the urgency and importance of changing their situation. Why now? Why is it that you'd like to create change now? What is it about you, what's going on for you in business and life where now there is an important time for you to do this? This just helps you to sort of dig deep on what their pain point is and why they really want to do something, because if they say it out loud and then say it to you, then that's admitting it, if you like, and it's allowing them to really own that decision. And so you could say things like, is it important for you to transform or change your situation now? Why now and not 3 months from now? That's a question you can ask. Or is it important for you to get support to make this happen? Or what's life going to be like in 3 months if you don't make this happen now? And are you okay with that outcome? These are going to help bring up any objections that they have. So, if they say, by bringing up this information now, if later on in the call they say something like, it's just, I don't have the time, or I'm just not sure if this is the right thing for me right now, then you can go back to, where they mention, well, actually now is the time. And then the 7th point is identify what's stopping them. What's kept you from accomplishing the things you wanted to achieve? What's stopping you from manifesting your desires? What have you tried that didn't work? So again, you're understanding what some of their barriers have been to create the success that they've wanted to. What's been standing in their way? Because that also helps you then when you talk about your offering, helps you present it in a way that is based around helping them clear the pathway to what stopped them before. So if someone wants to be losing weight and what stopped them before is that they have felt really lonely in the journey and they know that accountability would be really helpful, or they have an environment where it's really quite hard to stick to, healthy lifestyle, and they really want some guidance on it. Often people, what stops them is they really need support and having someone care for them. In a business sense, if I'm thinking of if you want to help people with their marketing, what stopped them before is they're usually really busy doing what it is that they do in their business, and they don't have time for marketing, or let's be honest, more often than not, they don't understand what it is or how to do it. So that can often be the case as well. So they want someone with the expertise that you have to help them with that. So again, this helps to uncover any objections that they have. And then number 8 is get clear on their vision again. Now, they would have talked about this, but I want you to recap it again. So how would life be different if you achieved what you wanted to achieve, stating what they said before? What will it mean to you if you accomplish your goals? Tell me what you are wanting to achieve by working with me in my business foundations package, or, whatever it is that you've got. So what is it that you want to achieve by working with me here? Then you want to talk about determine the level of commitment. Ask whether they're ready now to do what it takes to get to where they want to be or not. So you want to just check in with them. How committed are they? Sometimes they say on scale between 0 and 10, 10 being the most, how committed are you to making a change? And they'll say, if it's something 8, 9 or 10, that's really great. If it's more middle of the range or lower, then you can ask them why and uncover some of the objections then and there. And then 11 is acknowledging them. So acknowledge them and say, thank you so much for sharing your information, your story, your authenticity with me today. I have really appreciated it. And I just want to check in with you. I'm going to talk about what I feel would be a really good solution for you based on what we've talked about, and to talk about what that is. So for example, I would say, I promised I would check in with you, but before I do, I want to congratulate you for being so honest and open on this call. It's really powerful when a woman can stand up for her desires and be open to receive support. So I'm going to talk to you about my offering. Is that okay? And you want them to say yes. And then, based on what you're telling me about, and insert whatever their biggest difficulties you noticed from what they told you during the call was, I have something that I feel can help you get to where you are, to where you want to be. Would you like to hear more about us working together? And they go, yes. Then you share your offering. So I usually like to share 2 kinds of offerings and briefly tell dot points and price points along the way. Use the benefits and the benefits of those benefits to describe your program, which sounds funny. There's a lot of benefits there. Use the main benefits of your program, and then what are the benefits that those benefits provide to your ideal client. That's why they're buying it. They're not buying it because there's 12 coaching calls and they're the features, right? You want to sell on benefits. What is the benefit to them? What's in it for them? Think about that. So for example, you'll overcome money blocks so you are available to receive in a big way and have 5,000 or 10,000 plus months so you can quit your 9 to 5. So that's one of their benefits, right? When I'm working with my clients through one-on-one coaching, that's what I'm helping them to achieve. To have 5 or 10K plus months so that they can quit their 9 to 5. Now, you want to refine their ideal client so that they easily attract them and create packages that actually sell. So these are more benefits, right? These are more benefits that I help my clients with. Attract more clients so you can have more revenue with less work, so you can work smarter and not harder. I'll review your landing pages, Facebook adverts, and website copy to ensure they convert and don't waste time or money. We'll set up a sales funnel that brings leads to you even when you are not in your business, so you can literally be getting clients while you sleep. and create branding and website that stands out so you attract your tribe and they can't wait to buy from you. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the benefits, and then you want to talk about some of the features as well. So you cover what your program is, and please go back to the last module we had actually it was the module prior, where we talk about how to actually price out your offering, because you want to talk about it like that as well. And then ask them for their thoughts and feelings. What are your thoughts about working with me in this program? And what do you feel will help you achieve your goals if we work together? You want them to decide, right? So ask them for that. And then you're going to dissect and unravel hesitations. So journey with them through any doubts, worries, hesitation, fears, or concerns about investing in themselves and their business, and use this opportunity to teach them what it means to have belief in themselves. Then reaffirm their vision for the future. This is where you are now, but I can see you being here. Do you see that too? So it's helping them, supporting them in their journey. And you always want to ask, what would suit you better? Would you like to pay in full or monthly? That's asking for the sale right there. And then enrolling them, the client. So send them the shopping cart link while you're on the phone, or if you're meeting with them in face-to-face. And then, ask them, would you like to pay monthly or pay in full? And then send the contract immediately after they've bought via the shopping cart link. Schedule their first session while you're on the phone with them in that moment, so it feels very real and they can see how soon they will be receiving your support. And ideally, schedule the first session within 1 week from that discovery call. And then it's about handling any objections that comes up on the call, which is, of course, what I'm going to talk to you, to share with you more when I provide the script to you. But briefly, we'll talk about the objections here. There's more specific objections in the info that I provide. And it's what to do if they say no when you're offered to work with you, when you offer to work with you in your coaching program or service or whatever it is that you're offering. So ask permission first. So say something along the lines of, are you available to explore deeper on why you feel this way? Use phrases like, I hear what you're saying and I understand. Relate it back to what your personal experience, if you can tell for real life, when you started your business, you really have to be investing into it. And so, for example, it's like investing money into an MBA degree. You do it to see results. You need to invest to move forward. You can say that with health, well-being, helping businesses, helping individuals. There's always an investment, right? If we want to personally or professionally grow. And I might say something like, to be a 6-figure business owner, you need to invest in a business coach. I don't know any successful entrepreneur that hasn't. And as a coach, if I'm selling to a coach, you want to invest, you want others to invest in you. So it's essential that you have your own support and invest in yourself. So there's some really good power phrases that, remember, people buy from emotion. That's why they want you to be real. They want you to be connected. So say something along the lines of, if you were to be in this place 10 years or even 3 months down the line, how would that feel? And something along the lines of, I hear what you are saying, but how is what you are currently doing working for you? Wouldn't you rather be, whatever their desires are? When you say yes to your desires, the universe rewards you. Just by making a stand for what you want, changes and shifts are already taking place. All successful women make decisions quickly. It is a fact that all 6-7-figure coaches have mentors, coaches, and you mentioned to me you wanted to earn this amount this year. Do you feel that you could get there alone? What is money if you don't have your health, wealth, and happiness? Things like that, right? They're sort of phrases to really connect people into, if they're having fear around making the investment, really tap into, well, where will they be if they don't? Like, how else are they going to do it? If they feel like they're going to do it alone, they've been doing it alone, has that been working for them? And this seems quite direct, and its intention is to be direct, because when you're working with people, you're providing a service that helps to create change. And change isn't always easy. So that's often why they're partnering with you to help provide that change for them or their business. And so that means getting out of the comfort zone with activity, time, investment, money, whatever it is. So you need to help coach them through the situation. So in closing, I want to invite you into thinking that selling is serving. It allows you to help to create a positive impact. And when you connect more with your why, the reason why you're doing your business and how you can help people, it will often really help you shift into that energy. So enjoy the workbook this week. And again, if you have any questions, I'm always available in the Facebook group. And thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you have an amazing week. Okay, take care. Thank you. Bye.